She's been testing her husband's obedience for years. If the man doesn't obey, the woman immediately slaps him. The man silently swallows his grievances because he knows that if he continues to argue, his wife would burn the house down. He's been living in this kind of marriage for 29 years. The man is physically and mentally exhausted and can no longer communicate with his wife. Edward was a history teacher. He was a gentleman who never lost his temper with anyone. Even when he caught a student deserting the class, Edward would not reprimand them. Instead, he would ask questions to get the students to refocus on their studies. Such a gentle and kind man, but with a domineering wife at home. Grace's greatest pleasure was in the service she received from her husband. When she heard Edward putting away his cup of tea, she asked, "Did you make my tea?" A woman has hands and feet, but she wanted her husband to make tea for her after a long day's work. In fact, she didn't really want to drink tea. Rather, she was using this little tactic to test her husband's obedience. What's worse, Edward was not the only victim in the family. That day, her son Jamie was invited home. He had to cheer himself up before entering the house. Grace hugged her son, whom she hadn't seen in a long time. There should have been a sense of reunion when they got home, but Jamie couldn't be happy. There was a stifling, depressing smell in the house that he had grown up with, and the people who made it happen didn't even know it. It's because of a mother who was so strong and so scary. When Jamie graduated from college, he decided to go to a big city far away from home, and he was afraid to come home. After dinner, Edward cleaned up alone, while his wife sat and played a candle lighting game and pressed her husband. "We're having fun, aren't we?" Edward gave a casual answer and went back to his daily chores. But his wife was not pleased with his attitude and ordered Edward to put down what he was doing and talk to him at once. To control her husband, Grace made him say "I love you" into her eyes. The husband saw no point in being forced to say "I love you," so he refused. But after a loud slap, Grace shouted at her husband, as if she was standing across from a child who had made a mistake, who needed to be scolded to make things right. Edward took it in his stride, even when he was slapped by his wife. But this attitude made Grace even more upset. Grace wanted to argue, but her husband wouldn't give her a chance. She had nowhere else to vent her anger. She took her anger to the innocent table. A sudden noise startled her son. When he saw the mess in the kitchen, he realized what had happened. It had happened many times before. The son quietly helped his mom to clean up the mess, and still the mother went on and on. "I want a real marriage. What is he afraid of? Why does he always stay away from me?" The son advised mom not to push dad too hard, or the marriage would surely fall apart. But Grace didn't take the fight seriously. She thought it was just a normal spat between husband and wife. Edward, however, thought differently.